Hey, welcome. As you recall, we're working on our walk locomotion, and part of that walk locomotion is stopping. And this animation, you may or may not remember, is updated from the last time we worked on it. So basically, what we're doing here is a slight modification, and you can see how there's this big step forward, this crunch to the ground. We step our left, I'm sorry, that'll be our right foot to our end position, and then we step our left foot back to our end position. So we're pose matched at the end back to the idle animation. So why did I change that? And what was it? So it was more or less like this. If I just turn this layer off, we're stepping and we step kind of more forward here with our left foot. And then we step back forward. So we almost like we're stepping more forward with the right foot and then back with the left foot. And from our other video, I don't have this still hooked up. So this is the video from last time. I'm just going to play this and let's focus on this area right here. I'm going to play. You can see this kind of hiccup with our left foot. And sometimes it played nicely. Let's slow this down. And sometimes it would do this little hiccup. And I wanted to get rid of that hiccup. So what I was looking at is that sometimes that left foot is like it's stepping backwards then stepping forward rather than just being the foot that plants in the most forward position, halting our progression forward. So, like a hard stop, and then that left foot steps back. So, let me show you what it looks like now. And that's what I was trying to do with this new animation. So, again, here's the new animation. And if we bring up our animation here, you can see it here. And you can see our root motion, this little axes here. And if we just really quickly turn all that off and we can see our character progress forward, we can see how the root is going closer and closer back to 0 right there. So I think our animation kind of picks up from here because we're using distance matching, and where our capsule is when we start this animation and however close we are to stopping, we've got our predicted stop location, and we say, oh, you're only so many units away from stopping, and your curve says you're only so many units away from 0. So play from this point on. So as the capsule moves forward, we scrub the animation, and that's how the distance matching works. So if we play that, we're really not seeing all these steps, and we're not really seeing that big step here. We might see some of this, but let's go ahead and play. Let's bring this up so we can track where we are in the graph. And let's turn on walking. Looks like I've left my animations playing over there. So we're walking here, and then we stop. So I don't have my turn starts in yet or animated at all. So that's going to look kind of funky. So if you just kind of tap it, of course, if we like really tap it, it looks kind of funky. And I gotta admit, I'm not really inclined to change that. If players want to make the character do stupid stuff because I didn't fix it, then go for it. Um, so now we have our stop animation playing. So we're moving from move start to stop. And if we get to the full cycle, move and then stop, we just kind of shift our left foot forward and get to that planted position. So we're only using one animation right now. We've got our left foot forward, planting. So we're blending towards that. So our blends here are this one. We're using inertialization blend. So there's no crossfade there. It's just taking your last position and blending it to your first position. of one pose to another. And same thing here. We've got inertialization. We've got a 0.25 blend, Hermite cubic, and a 0.15 blend Hermite cubic. And then when we transition back and forth from move stop to move start, then we've got we have an inertialization blend again. So I think that should cover our updates there. But I did want to show one more thing here where we go to not move stop. We go to our stop forward because when we're not strafing, we're always stopping from our forward position. So this is our move stop animation that we're playing here for both crouching and stopping. And I guess just for funsies, this isn't really what I wanted to show, but we can show crouching. So let's crouch. And again, if you've watched some of my other videos, crouching is a procedural transform bone change. So I'm not really sure what it's doing there. I'll have to look into that. So sometimes it would, hmm, I can't reproduce it right now. Anyway, crouching is piggybacking off of the slow walk speed. So this is just a procedural bone change, transform bone change. And maybe I have it up, slope warping, crouch offset, there it is. So this is my crouch pose. It's not an animated pose. It's a procedural bone change based off these parameters I'm setting in there. So it's just using all of the locomotion that comes before it. So that locomotion is now playing on that transform bone across all the pelvis, the spine, the arms. So just trying to get some of that crouch stuff for free. Anyway, enough with that tangent. If we go back, so you can see we're using this sequence evaluator here with our distance matching. We duplicate that and we right click on it and convert to a sequence player. And then we control drag to connect the sequence player. And we can see how this animation plays. And you're going to see something funky here. And so when the capsule stops moving, the animation has a bunch of steps in it. And you're going to see, what is it? Stride warping. Whoops. Let me turn this on. So what you're going to see is stride warping play this animation in place because we're no longer moving, but the feet are cycling. And we need to be walking. There we are. So basically, the feet are cycling. Stride warping is working. So if we were to turn off stride warping, just real quick, I don't know if I have this up. Oh. So we're going to come here. And I think it's probably just easier to disconnect it for the moment. There we are. So we can see how this animation plays without stride warping. Now we're walking. And there we are. So since our capsule's already stopped, we're not moving forward anymore. So that just looks like you're cycling in place. So we don't want that. So let's hook this back up. But if we're to play that animation from, say, here, let's say 0.9 or 0.82, let's try that one. So we're going to start the animation from 0.82 just to see what it looks like without distance matching. And we're going to expose this here. You don't need to expose it. I just like to see it here in our graph to know that, like, hey, you're not playing this animation as authored, so to speak. So let's turn on walking. And now you can see how that animation kind of plays similarly. So basically, what distance matching is doing is just trying to figure out, it's lining up the curve in the animation. That's this with how far the capsule is away from stopping, which is at 0. And then as the capsule moves closer and closer to 0, it reads this curve. And this curve is the next position in the animation to play. It's like I'm closer to 0, I'm closer to 0, closer, 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 and then we're stopped. And then it just plays out the rest of the animation. Um, so that's kind of like what this is doing. It's picking that start position, except we're doing it dynamically on the fly. That's what's nice about distance matching there. And the thing that's interesting too is like, I don't have it now, but if there's like other modes in your game where like you're walking, but you're moving slower than walking, the capsule might say slide around a little bit more, it'll play more of this animation here. So it says, oh, I am 95 units away from 0 when the stop animation is activated, but the capsule is still going to move and it's moving a little slower now. So the braking deceleration at that point would be just lessened. So it would take longer to stop. Uh, so you would basically scrub this animation all the way, or the capsule would read this curve. And this curve in the capsule scrubs the animation, hence the sequence evaluator by time and explicit time here. And then we'd get to 0. But what we want is what we have here. Oops, not slow-mo, walking. So we're just stopping there. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, and now that I've updated you on the stops, is get another animation in here. So what we're going to do, we're going to set it up here. We want this one. And we just want to duplicate that. So now we have 2. And then we're going to say blend by bool, true and false. I have a bool that says get right foot front. So basically it's just checking, is the right foot in the front or is it in the back? And I'll show you how this is set up. I've actually showed it in a previous video, and I want to make some modifications to it. And basically just reduce how much it's doing, but let's check it just to see how much it's doing for walking. Because I know I only have it set up for, what is it? Beam walking right now. So we're going to find by name. We're going to say set right here, that one. So is beam walking true? And if it's true, then we'll check and we'll do the calculations to see if our right foot is forward. But if not, then we won't. So I think here I'm going to say movement state. Get movement state is equal to our walk state. So we'll do an or bool here. So or bool. So is beam walking or is walking. And now we'll check. And I don't know exactly how this is going to calculate for walking, if it's going to be good or not. So we'll see. So we're going to compile this. We're going to come back here. We're going to watch this value here. We're also going to see where this plays. So we're going to hit play. We are walking. So it does ring true. So right foot, right foot, right foot, right foot. Nope, that's false. That's true. False, true. False, true. So now it's saying, so if we just record this real quick. So come to our rewind debugger, record. That was false, that's true. So now we'll pause it. And then we can scrub. Where was it? Oh, there it is. Okay. So all we want to see is when we stopped, what's true, what's not. So we can see which active blend weight. So that's false there. And then that's true here. You can see how when we're watching the pose, like the rewind debugger doesn't update right there. And that's fine. We can see which pose is being activated. So we can see here that what we want to do is say on this moment here, what's true. So when we stopped walking and this mode activates, what's true? Is the right foot forward? Yes or no? And we can see here that the left foot is forward there. And then on this one, it's saying that the right foot was forward when we stopped. There, so it played that one. Obviously the animation isn't right because we're already blending into this one and that's pushing the left foot forward. Basically, we're just asking at what moment. So if I look for find results, go back here. And it doesn't look like we're able to see what this graph is doing. That's unfortunate. But let me see, do I have a print screen here that I can use? Probably one of these. And no. Okay, so all I'm going to do is go back to our event graph. Come over here to all this mess. And right now it's printing distance traveled. I don't want that. Is right foot front. So I'm going to print that one. And I just want a yes or no. So we're going to play. We'll probably see it up here. We're seeing a false here. It's in black. So let's get it right there. So now we can see that. And we're going to go to walking mode. Oh, it only calculates it. That's right. It only calculates it once I stop moving. So let's go back. So if it has acceleration, true, then it's calculating it. And as soon as it stops, it's just whatever the value was when we stopped. So I'm going to pull this to here and see if it'll just calculate it on every frame. So we want to see that print screen here. false. Walking, true, false, true, false. Nope, it's not changing. Forward calculation, ground speed, slope pitch, ground speed. Let's play here. Let's watch this. Okay, slope is 0. Ground speed is less than 190. Oh, less than or equal to, because I think my ground speed is 185 right now. Okay, so that's the thing that's holding it back. Okay, let's just drag this right over here. Now let's see if it's going to calculate it. Okay, there it is. Now we have a switching true, false, true, false. So you can see the graph switching too on if the left foot is forward or if the right foot is forward. So if we go to slower, actually, yeah, let's just go slower. So you can see how as the right foot passes, it's going to true. And then as the left foot passes, what I mean by passes is passes the root, then it's going to false. So this can still be a good calculation for finding whether or not our right foot is forward or our left foot is forward. That's great. Okay. So let's what was it here? Okay. Compile and then save that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this animation and we're gonna mirror it. So let's go back to get rid of this debugger. Okay, that's gone. Going back to our sequencer file, should still be playing here. There they are. Okay, so that's our stop animation as authored. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna mirror this one. So if we just stay here, and I'm going to take this one. This is our SKM, and should be able to get it. Could just bring in another one. I'm not sure why it isn't just letting me duplicate it. Huh, let me duplicate that one. Funky. Anyway, we're gonna bring her over here. We're gonna call her stop mirror. We're gonna drag her in here. We're going to add an animation. Stop walk forward. That's this one here. Let me, oh, there it is. We're going to save that one, save as, we're going to say, this will be the right foot forward. And we will go back to our graph, and then we will hook up our right foot forward here. We'll find where we can change out the name somewhere. Where's my binding? Oh, it's here. Sequence. right foot forward. There it is. So this one's going to be left foot forward. If we really wanted to rename that, could. So why not? No, I'm not going to. Okay, so I'm going to copy that name. We're going to come over here back to our sequencer file. Let's pull this down here. So we're back in our sequencer. Instead of naming it mirrored, I'm going to name it the animation name. We pulled in the animation, so now we have the animation. So one thing that I need to do, so I'm going to pull it in again and delete that. We go to our right foot forward. We're going to uncheck all this stuff here, this root motion stuff. That way, when I bring it in, it actually brings it in with root motion. There we are. And then I'll recheck it, save it. Save my anim graph too. Okay, that's saved. Oop. That does not have root motion. Why not? Huh, interesting. It actually is getting that update. So as I update this animation, this guy updates. That's interesting. I did not know that. The more you know. So let's go to properties. And we want to mirror this. There's a way to do this somewhere. There it is. Playback, mirror data table. And if you're using, I don't know about other skeletons. I don't have any recommendations there. But I built my skeleton off of the Unreal Mannequin skeleton. Probably the one from the MetaHuman one or the Lyra one. I can't remember which, but it was the one in Unreal 5, not the Unreal 4 one. So if you want to create a data table that's a mirrored data table for this character, just I think you can create it here. No. So you right click, animation, mirror data table. Then you select your skeleton. So that's going to be SKL, Hero Girl for me. So whatever your character's skeleton name is. And I think there was, so like once you do it, just follows that Unreal naming convention, which is nice. So that underscore left or right suffix. And it'll just kind of populate that already for you. And then I think the only change that you need to make is this change right here. So mirroring in the mirror axis. So, oh, maybe not. Maybe I didn't need to do anything. So that's good. I mean, I think this basically works out of the box. So it's like I haven't messed with this mirror data table, and I might have had to do that on another project. Change mirror root motion. Anyway, if you're starting from the Unreal Mannequin skeleton, I can't say for other skeletons, but if you're starting for the Unreal Mannequin skeleton, like that's literally all you need to do, and then you have a mirror data table. So you know which bone goes to what location. So anyway, back to our sequencer file. So sequencer, and we are right clicking here, properties, playback, and then we have our mirror data table. See if there's anything else. I guess you could reverse it too. And that should work. So now I'm confused. Let me pause the video see if I can figure this out. Okay, so I'm back. I can't figure out why this is not mirroring. It's odd. I looked at the basically this is the structure for what dynamically should be filtered for and found. So I've got these here. So they come with the data table by default. So Unreal just creates this, looks for these, sets up the data table structure, and gets the name and the mirrored name. So that's pretty straightforward. Like I said, it's stuff that is just automatically there. But what I'm going to do is just like a dirty old method that I used to do. See if this works. So I'm creating a animation blueprint off our skeleton. I'm going to take the animation I want, which is this one, so I still have that in there. And I'm going to drag out for a mirror here. So it automatically gets the mirror data table that you want. And we're going to compile. It should mirror. So yeah, this mirrors. So if we loop this, make this bigger. It's like there's nothing, I'm not doing anything fancy here. So if we compile and we loop it, we can see that the right foot is hitting. But we just uncheck that. We go back to our original animation. So I don't know why the sequencer, when I load in the mirror data table, um, isn't mirroring the animation. So what I'll do here is I'll stop this. I won't make it loop. Compile. Then I'll pause it. Then I'll compile. So it doesn't play. So I'm gonna hit this record button here. And I want to record at 24 frames per second. I'm going to find stop. So that's locomotion and arm stop there. Just going to create this new animation. And we're going to end after not 60 seconds. Let's try 7 seconds. Press OK. We're recording and I'm going to hit play. And then I'm going to hit stop. Okay, so now we have our animation. So, and I'm going to rename, do a couple things. Just going to save that. Rename this one to ABP mirror templates. That way, if I ever want to mirror something again and it isn't working, I just got this and I'll just drag in the animation I want. Then I'm going to come to our stop here and we've got our new animation. So let's save that one. Okay, so we have our new animation. Okay. So I'm going to bring this into our sequencer. Let's go to sequencer. So you can see here, just real quick, that I tried with the animation mixer. And that left foot is still hitting forward first. Not sure why. So we're just going to trash this one since I have my mixer open. So really, it's just like, hey, do I want an animation or do I want to do the animation mixer? For this purposes, it really doesn't matter. So we'll get our right foot forward, but that's not the animation we want. We want new animation, something like that. Okay, there it is. That was a long animation. We want to find We want to find the moment it starts, so that's that one right there. So I'm using the open bracket to clamp our start animation timeline range. And that one, so our end bracket. So I just want to have our start and stop range to our first and last keys, and then I'm going to bake this to our control rig here. Hit create. So that way when we get to our control rig, we just have keys on that range. So I'll delete our animation here and then get this back to 0. So it looks like it's a little longer than it needs to be. So I don't want that one. There. Okay, so that's our animation. And I'm going to do some quick fixes here. So let's go ahead and save this. Get our time range back to where it needs to be. So open bracket, close bracket. Then I'm going to select here, come to our animation details. So I've got our, what is this, our global control. Oh, I don't want our global control, sorry. I want our IK controllers. I'm going to go to stretch and stretch. And let's get this out of the way. Put our curves. Right now we're not stretching. So I want that to stretch. So now we're stretching on every frame. And then we're going to add a softness here. Just a softness of 1. So our knees don't pop and lock as bad as they probably will without it. And see that our feet are staying on the ground a little bit better. Not going to worry about that big toe. It's really weird. Really bad there. Terrible. Let's see if we even see that in the animation while we've got it in game. Let's clean up this hand here real quick. So we're hitting pretty hard here. Go to our rotation. Just delete this one. And those. And it's probably fine there. So what I probably want here is a little bit back. Delete that one. It's a little bit better. Okay. So now we'll save our sequencer. We'll export this out or bake it down. So bake, we want, it's the stop animation. So locomotion unarmed stop. We'll save over what we've got. And since the animation blueprint is already set up, it should just play. So we've got our stop here, right foot forward, and then our regular stop. So we double click on that. That'll bring up, we have our right foot forward stopping. Make sure that plays properly. We've got our curves here. Only thing that we got to change is our foot plant markers. So this would be our foot sync markers, I should say. So that's right foot. There's your left foot. So yeah, left foot there, and that's good. So right foot passing on the ground, the root. Left foot passing on the ground, the root. And okay, I think we're good there. So let me double check my other animation. So walk, base. Let's do this. Just real quick, want to check here. Okay, there's nothing for mirroring here. Good. Okay, so we have left foot passing, right foot passing, left foot doesn't plant again or pass again. So we'll delete that. Okay, save that. And compile, save. So in theory, if this works, I should choose from one of those two anims to play. This should be 0 and 0 because you're either true or you're false. And I don't want it blending between one or the other. So let's see. That was the right foot, left foot, right foot, right foot, right foot. So there's a crucial thing I'm missing here. Is the pose matching at the end, but we've got that working. So nice. So now let's go back to our animation in our sequencer. And we're not pose matching here. So that's what we want to do. So we're going to select our controls here. Maybe I actually already have it. So let's see, idle pose, there it is. We are going to, on this one, create a new layer. We're going to call this, select this one. Not sure it's going to give me everything that I want. Might need this one here. So pose, let's see what controls it selects. So it is selecting all the FK controls. Okay, that's good. Okay, so back to my layers. We're going to select just these controls here. New layer. I'm going to say stop mirror idle pose. And so we got our right foot hitting, and then we want our left foot hitting there. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, select our pose. We already have our controls. And we're going to paste that. That's interesting, actually. Didn't expect that to work that way. So if we we just turn this one off real quick. Go to layers. I pasted that pose across the entire animation. So if we, so it still stops in the right pose. That's interesting. I was kind of expecting to have to do something like this, where once this left foot hits, then, okay, that's the pass-through key. So that's all 0. And then we're blending back to, see that, blend. So we would want that left foot to hit where it needs to hit. So let me see if I can get that. There it is. So here we want a 0 key. And then here, we just want that to hit where it needs to hit. Okay, that left foot. And then paste this in here too. Actually, let me do a key there for this toe, just fixing this toe, because it's, if you can see, it's kind of warping back in a weird way. So just pasting that toe position, that's still doing it. I'll leave that alone for now. So we've got it pose matched here. So I would have expected to at least do that, where I had to do some cleanup on the feet. But if we just save this real quick, we delete this, and we just have our pose match pose at the end, pasted across the entire animation, then I don't have to do that. I don't know, sometimes you get some wind. I'm gonna keep it like this. So we're going to make this out as a stop. Loco unarmed stop. And then we'll hit play. Then we'll walk around and see what happens. If I could get it. So yeah, then it pose matches properly. Nice. Oh, cool. So now we have either a right foot stop or a left foot stop. It's not perfect, but it's cute. I'll go for cute. So let me see here. Just one more look. Oh, that's here. Play here, see what our graph is doing as we play. Oh, I think I get it. It's probably how I'm calculating how the right foot is forward or not. Sometimes like the right foot seems too far back and then it slides forward. I don't know, I think I can live with that. Otherwise I would have to do some, and I think I do need to, but because I've seen it in the beam walk also, when you're stopping and the mirroring is happening. But anyway, I will call it. Show. I don't want to show bones anymore here. There we are. Just want to see what's happening. Here we are. So which foot is kind of planting and taking the weight? Oh, cool. All right. In this video, we reviewed the change in the stop animation. We mirrored that stop animation to give us a right foot plant and a left foot plant stop. And we used our existing code for the right foot front that I showed in another video for choosing which foot to use when you're stopping, or choosing which animation to use when you're stopping. And then we pose matched our right foot forward stop animation to end in the idle pose. And we got kind of lucky there, because usually you would have to do some foot fixes for that, but we didn't. So hopefully you guys found that helpful, and happy animating out there and enjoy the journey.